testing our recording. Let me just make sure that's working. Oops. Okay, we're going to do an edit of this photograph here, a portrait, and we're going to develop, and we're going to do a few things in develop. First thing we're going to do is we're going to knock the contrast down. Do it by touch, but I would say maybe we'll knock the contrast down by 19. The shadows, I'm going to bring the shadows up. That looks pretty good. The whites, the blacks, let me see. Whites up, make sure we're not clipping on the whites. Okay. Clarity, I'm going to move the clarity up. With the clarity, you just want to make sure that the skin doesn't get brittle, like it's getting brittle here. If you zoom in, see how brittle that skin is. So we want the clarity. I want to have skin detail so we can kind of see like the nice texture. So maybe, yeah, 8 sounds good there. I don't want to go too crazy with it. It also, the clarity has an effect of sharpening. And actually, let's zoom in again. Also here on the HSL, on the hull, we're going to go to the reds, and what we're going to do is her face is a little bit on the red side, and we're just going to bring it over. Now we don't bring it over too far because it ends up getting kind of greeny, and we're going to bring it back to 0. And we're just going to bring it over to take some of that red out. In fact, that's way too much. There we go. So we're trying to basically even the skin tone. Can you get a start? So here it is before. See the redness, especially around here. See where there's like redness here compared to like this part of the skin. So we have 2 different tones. You can see on the nose, the color tone is completely different to like what's on the cheeks and in the forehead as well. So with that, even it out, there still is a difference, but when we bring it over to Photoshop, we will even get that out more, where we have a nice clean skin tone, and the hand is fine. So what else do we want to do here? We want to check for chromatic aberrations, which looks like we have. We shot this at 1.7. Usually you'll get it where you have a dark and a bright color, and we don't seem to be getting it. But for safety's sake, remove chromatic aberrations, just in case it's there. And we have sharpening. I put it usually at 20. Okay, and let's go full screen. So what else? Make sure I'm not going to go near the contour. I think we're pretty good. We could work on the temperature and the tint. What I'm going to do here is we're going to go in on the skin again, and basically the whole thing here on the portrait is I get a beautiful skin tone. You might be able to see we're bringing it too warm, and we can bring it a bit cooler. See there, we've got very red. Now I'm doing these very dramatically. Let's put it back to the center, and -1. Leave that at 0. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from before, that's what it looked like, and obviously this area is a lot darker. We're bringing out the shadow areas because I want to retain that detail. Look at the skin tone, especially around the cheeks. See the way over here, the cheek area, it's nice and red, and then this is like a paler color, and then after we've evened out that redness dramatically, and this is only within Lightroom. So again, full screen. This is, well, we go to the before. This is before, straight out of camera, and after. Right? So now we have it prepped for Photoshop, which, oops, there's full screen, for which we're going to do our main. So we've got a photo, edit in Adobe Photoshop. Now, here we go. The first thing we're going to do is make a copy, so Command J on a Mac. I don't know what the Windows version is, but there is other videos out there. So first things we're going to do here is we're going to clean up the skin. So I'm going to zoom into the skin, and let me see, what will we use? We'll actually use, let me see, I'm going to use the spot healing brush. And so we're going to go around the main areas where there's a bit of pimples and really quickly kind of get these done and dust it with. A few little spots here, not actually pimples, but let's see if we get these little smile lines just away. Okay, maybe a few of these guys. Here, I don't know what about this guy. And we're going to just clean up around the skin area. Now, see this hair here? I don't actually like this. I'm going to remove this. It's a kind of a stray hair that's in an awkward area I'm not crazy about. So now you don't have, some people go crazy with moving every, imperfection, and I don't think we need to do that because I want it to look pretty real. So we're just going to get rid of the kind of bigger, more noticeable ones. So you can get rid of that here. Sometimes use a spot healing brush and it does the job nicely, and then other times you would maybe need to use the patch tool. Okay, I think we're looking pretty good here. Now I notice overneath, you also should check the hands. Now notice down here at the bottom of the arm. Now actually, I'm going to switch my brush. So I'm going to use the patch tool. What I'm going to do is, we see this area here that's kind of looks like she leaned on something. I'm going to see if we can get this rid of here. It's doing a nice little job here. Okay, I think we're looking good there. Yeah. I got this one here. Zoom into it here. Oops. See that here? Now it's going down through the eye and then past the eye. So what we'll do is we'll do it in sections, and I'm going to go zip down here. You want to keep it as close, and I will stop it here. We'll go across, and then we'll go up, and we'll go here. We're just going to drag it over off of that area, but near it, and pop. And we seem to have got that pretty good. And you wouldn't even notice that now. In fact, you know what? I'm going to go and get this bad boy out of here as well. Perfecto. Now, you can barely see it, but I can see it. There's one here, that here following through. Actually, you can barely see it over the eye, but I can see it here. Now, because there's a crease going across here, we need to take this and bring it over and have it to where that crease is going to be lined up, like, and release. So let me go here. Deselect. Now it is actually going through the eye, but we actually can't really, I actually can't see it going through the eye. And here in the eyes, there's a little bit of red. Oh, what are we doing? Why are you doing this to me? What's going on here? We're going patch tool. Thank you. Why is it doing that? What's going on? What's going on here? Let's go patch tool. Let's go spot heal it. Okay, okay, I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, so anyway, that here that was going down, we'll look at the before. See the before and the after, and also a few spots before, after. We'll zoom out. So that before, see how 9 that here is, see how 9 that here is, and just clean up the skin a little bit. Okay, so what we'll do now is, I like to have my workflow clean, so I'm going to flatten the image. Now, next thing we do is frequency separation. And we can actually zoom out a tad for that. Now, I'll run an action on this, but there's a lot of tuition out there online about frequency separation. So, okay. So basically, first we have dust and scratches, and right now it's at 8 pixels, and usually you click in around the eye, and right now you look at how detailed it is, and it's actually still fairly detailed. So let's go to 11. You kind of want it where you can see the blurriness. of the skin detail anymore. Actually, that's looking pretty decent. So the skin detail is pretty blurry at 11. So we'll click OK for that. Right. Now go back to the regular, and we're going to click down here to low, and we're going to go to the lasso tool up here. And what I like to do is pick a piece of skin that has like 2 tones to it. So I'm going to pick a piece over here that has the lighter. We have a little bit of shade, and we have a little bit of that redness and a bit of darkness up there, and maybe more lighter. So we have kind of like 3 textures there. We're going to go up to the top of filter. We're going to go blur. We're going to go Gaussian blur, and we have to get the pixels the same as what it was before. So we're going to have it at 11. Right, and then we'll click OK. So now we're going to go around the skin and get the skin toned nicely. So we pick out a patch up here, and we go Command F as our quick step. And we pick a piece down here, and Command F, and we go around the eyes. This eye, and we go around this cheek. Now we stay away from the edges here. Perfect. And down this cheek. And the chinny chin chin. I'm thinking that's looking good. So we're just going to show you a before. Actually, let's bring that somewhere over here. So I'm going to show you, this is what the skin looked like before. I'll actually zoom in a bit more on the skin. There's the skin before and then after frequency separation. And it smooths everything out, but you can still see up here where we got the skin texture. You can see the texture here, but the toning is evened out, smoothened it. So let's zoom back out, and from a distance away, it's a dramatic difference. See? Before, after. Just that nice polish. And we'll do a little bit down here where, okay. Even this out. Okay. And I think we're looking okay. So next thing's next. I'm going to go deselect that. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm going to go layer and flatten. Now when you flatten something, you flatten that, so make sure you have everything you need to have done. Next thing we're going to do is eyes. Now I would normally be doing this a lot quicker. In fact, what I'm going to do here is Command J, make a duplicate layer. I'm going to get that patch tool, and I'm going to see, yeah, let's get that. Just want to get that little redness out of there. It's like a kind of a, in the eye you can get those little blood, and that was a kind of like prominent one. And sample it nearby. And deselect. So just a little bit of a detail. See that little kind of a blood shot in the eye? Just get that out of there. And let's just flatten that and keep everything clean. But now we're going to do the eyes. I use actions on that. And the action I'm going to use is from, let me see, it's from the Innocence Retouch of Greater Than Gatsby. You can also make your own. So first I'm going to use the base eye foundation. I'm going to click on that. And what I like to do here is flow. I'm going to opacity at 100. I'm going to put the flow at 28%, 28, 30%. And what I'm going to do here is we're going to go in 3 different swipes. The first swipe, what this will do is it'll kind of brighten up the eye, but I want to put a depth to the eye. So my first swipe is actually going to be right on the eyeball. So swipe across on the eyeball. Now I'm going to do another swipe. It's going to be a bit wider. So it's going to be the eyeball and the kind of lashes and stuff. So there's swipe 2. And then I'm going to go bigger again, where we're going to have the brow. So go there and there. So you mightn't think there's much of a difference. If we go before, there's just a little pop, but the light is getting more intense as you get in closer to. As you get in closer to the eyeball, the light gets more intense. Now, next thing we do is enhance brightness. So on that, we're going to go flow 100%. And actually, let's just zoom in so everybody sees everything well. So now the iris is, she actually got very dark eyes. But see the kind of a brown she has here. So the iris is that part. The pupil is the black in the center, and then there's also a black rim that goes on the outer side of the iris. And then here, of course, you have the white of the eyes. So we're going to concentrate on the iris. So this is going to pop a bit more color or brightness into that. Now, that's one eye, and then we're going to do the second eye. And the whole purpose behind all of this is, we want to make the eyes lively, and especially for this type of a photograph. You want girls want to have the old big beautiful eyes. And now we're going to do a rim, which is basically a darkening. Now we're going to do the pupil in the center, and on the edges of the iris we make the pen very small, and it's not very defined there because but actually just shapes the eye nicely. Same over here. Now this would pop an awful lot if the person had something like lighter eyes, like blue eyes. And then also you can bring this along here, make the eyelashes or the eyeliner more defined. Also bring out these more. And let's go back over here. And doing this also makes makes that area like sharper in focus, because a lot of sharpness is a high difference between a high contrast where something is bright and darkness near each other. Okay, there we go. Now, I think we're getting very close to the end. Let's go white puffy eyes. I'll click on that action. It says 50%, but I actually like to go below that. I got 40. So now we're going to do the whites of the eyes. And we're going to just go over it. And the whites of the eyes are already white, so you just need to just make them a little bit whiter. Usually in the corners you get a dramatic difference. So you filled in a lot of white there. And you don't want the whites of the eye to look pure fake white, because then that looks fake and I guess doll-like. You just want it to look clean. And the next thing we're going to do is a little sharpening. Give our eyes a little more pop. I'll go 100%. So what we're going to do here is kind of fill it up and just over the eyeball pop and pop. So now we're going to go out. Actually, let's close down this window. So we're going to go out a little bit. What we're going to do over here first is we're going to group all these. Right? Now, so here is the before, right, and the after. And there's a lot of light in there. So before, so dull they are, actually doesn't feel that sharp. Now what I also like to do is I like to zoom out, because something will look a lot different zoomed out as zoomed in. So here's before and after. See that little pop? Boom. Big difference. Before, after. And it's not just the eyes, it's also around the eyes where we brought more light into that area. So I'm very happy with that. So layers, flatten image. Now, let's see what else. I think everything else is looking relatively good here. Let me see, what else can we do? Where's my mouse gone to? Okay. So let's see what we can. Now here we're going to kind of work on the actual color grading. So I'm going to go to a full image. On this, you have to kind of experiment. Let's go to a gradient map. Gradient map will give different colors to the brighter and darker areas, right? So here is actually in the reverse. So here, okay, the darker areas is given the light to, and the brighter areas is making dark. Now, I like to use this one up here. It's called violet and orange. Let's click on that. Right. So the darker areas is making violet, and the lighter areas is making orange. So like you see on our face. But of course, we can change the blend mode up here. We're at normal. We go down. Now usually overlay or soft light. We'll test soft light, and also the opacity would bring it down. Let's bring it down to 20%. So it's a very subtle now. I'll turn that effect off. See before, after. It actually gives a bit of warmth to it. So that's soft light. We'll try that overlay. Yeah, that's not bad either. Right. Now, what I'm also going to do is I'm going to look at, let me see. Let's look at this one. You know what? Let me see the lighter. Actually, I'm trying to think. Let's, you know what? Let's switch this one out. I'm going to see something here. Actually, we're going to get into a teal color. Okay. So this will be the darker areas. Actually, you know what? Okay, I'm liking that for there. And for the lighter areas, I'm going to give it a more orange. And what we're trying to do is give it a more cinematic. Okay. Actually, I don't know if I'm loving that. Let's go down to more the oranges. And you basically have to play along here. And you see, as I click, it's actually showing the effect. In other words, if I click like, see the way it shows it dramatically, and here's the dark. So I'm kind of liking that. Now, let me go to my darker area. No, I definitely don't want to. I kind of like this a little bit on the dark side. More intense color. Let's see. Let's go okay. Now, of course, we're on overlay here. We can go soft light. I like that as well. And we can increase the 15 actually went down. So let me go before and after. Kind of liking it. Before, after. Is it like normal? No. Darken. I'm kind of liking that. Before, after, I don't know. Multiply 20%. Multiply is very dark. Go light in. No. Screen, that won't do it. And soft light. And overlay. Still like not liking my orange area. It's actually way too. Blues. Okay, I'm kind of liking that. Let's see. So we kind of blue into an orange. So the maybe lower it a bit. So let's see before, after. I'm kind of liking that. Okay, so we'll go with that. And also, excuse me. Okay. So we're going to look at the color balances as well. So now we're going to start off with midtones. Of course, here again, everything by the eye. In fact, I'm going to shut off the gradient map for now. So we're going to go, we'll start with the midtones and we're just going to play with crayon. The more we go over, the greener it gets. Go over the side, the warmer it gets. So, but on these, basically you're going to go very small. So I'm going to go +3 on the red, and then usually you like to go the opposite color. On the other side. So -2 magenta, and then actually kind of liking that blue. We go 5. Now we're going to go to shadow areas. So shadow areas. Let me look at the blues again. Actually, I'm feeling very blue on this for some reason. I see here's the warmer yellows where the blue, see where areas where the blue will affect. I'm kind of liking, of course 13 is way too much. You're kind of never going above 5. Actually 5 might be too much. So I'm at 4. I usually on the magenta green side, then you go over to magenta. If you go up to green, you kind of get washy. So if you're doing that, you kind of go magenta. I might actually not. Magenta neutral. Very red. Actually, put a 0 on that. So I've actually got a highlights. So highlights will be her skin area. And make her skin a bit blue. Yellow, actually, to make it a bit yellowy. So 7 is not. Actually, kind of gone high on that. 11. Now let's see. Go and let's see. We've got reds. So, so look at this before and after. Let's put our gradient map on now. Let's see what that does. I don't know if I'm loving the gradient map after this. So gradient map, let's go to that. Save that. Make that one. Okay. Load. Oh, for fuck's sake, what am I doing? Okay. New. Okay. So that one's new. Let me go over here. Let me see. overlay, normal, target. This is probably the hardest part you can do. Actually, look at that hull. Saturate. Luminosity. I don't know, that might be good there. Gradient map. This can be the hardest part because it's kind of where you kind of get the most artistic. So little subtle differences are what make a lot of photographs. So I'm actually not good at soft light. And let me see the opacity of it. Right. And now let's see what else can we do here. I'm going to use a gradient now, and I'm actually going to do a radial, and I'm kind of put it over the scale, and we're going to look at the different. So we're going to kind of go nope, and what we're going to try and do here is do a reverse of that. Right. So let's make it a little larger. Okay. So let's look at a before and after on that. Before, after, and let's, okay. Now, I think we're getting pretty close. I want to see one more thing of a solid color. Let's see if we can maybe give it a tad bit of warmth. So we're going to go down here a lot more. So before, I don't know if that kind of washes it out or anything. You know what? I'm going to get rid of that down to trash can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group all of these together again. And that is shift and hold down. And we're going to group those. And what we're going to do is boom. Oops. So gradient. Put that in the group. So there's the before. Here's after the color grading. Now we're going to actually go to layer, flatten. Now we're going to go to Nik Collection, Color Effects Pro 4, and we can see if we can find a few polishes, and I might try one more thing in Photoshop, and then that would be about it. So now Nik Collection Color Effects Pro is free if you go to their website, and that is at the date at which this came out, which is 2016. So last thing I use, which is Pro Contrast, I put up the dynamic range. I'll give you a before, why is it after, so it gives that a pop of color. Now I want to try one more thing, and that will be Film Effects Vintage. I'm going to see if we can put a bit of warmth into this. So I'm going to go to film type, I go to 14. Grain per pixel, I put it at 500, which means there will be no grain. Vinaigrette, we'll put that down to actually 0. So I don't need that really because I already kind of darkened the edges from before. Now, film strength is up at 80, and let's knock it down to around 16. And, well, this computer's going crazy on me. So, this is actually not looking too bad. Bring the colors down a bit. Actually, I kind of like them up there. Here's before it. We're kind of putting a little bit of warmth in, or maybe a lot. And we'll go with compare before and after. So this is before we brought it into Color Efex Pro, kind of like after. I try. I bring up the saturation a bit. Okay. Now, a lot of times it's good to actually go away from this. I'm going to try and go Glamour Glow and see what that does. I'm actually kind of not liking what it does. I'm actually going to get rid of Glamour Glow. Okay. So before and after. Okay. So here's before, here's after, here's before, here's after. And let me get the Pro Contrast. Forecast. Let me go here. Let's see what it's like with more contrast. So I'm going to give it time to settle. So I'm going to compare. I kind of like that a bit better. Now, what I would have loved if Color Efex Pro would actually have the histogram on it. Here's before, here's after. I'm kind of loving that. So we're going to commit on that. So a lot of this toning, color grading, it's all by feel, and a lot of times it might be a good idea to actually leave the computer and then come back to it and approach it with fresh eyes, because you might be doing things where it looks good, Now we'll see a big difference here as the, see, boom. Oh yeah, that's a big difference. Now, see, it's giving it that like very kind of a cinematic look as well. So I'm going to get our layers. So here's before, oops, before Color Effects Pro, when we did the other color grading, which looked kind of good. And now, yeah, that's kind of looking popping. Plus, the contrast has gone so much better. So we're going to flatten this image down. Okay. Now, I have this corrector, which I'm actually kind of liking. Let me just look at it again beforehand. After, yeah, it just pops a bit. Pops, it pops. Does it pop good? Before. Yeah, I'm kind of liking that now. In fact, you know what? Layer, flatten that down. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to just do a little more dodge burn. I just want to get those areas just a little bit better. Let's go to dodge especially. I just want to highlight. Areas around here. So now let me just look at that before and after. Okay. Just zoom out on that. Before. After. You know what? We'll just get the opacity of that down. So before. Okay. And we're going to flatten that. Okay. So we're finished with that. So we're going to close it down, save it. I'm going to go back over to Lightroom where the photograph will be set up. Now in Lightroom, I'm going to go to one view. So I'm going to bring back the sharpening, usually around 20% or so, and then we'll mask it. And we'll mask it, white is where it's sharpening. So I'm going to have white on the skin and on the clothes, and anything that's black, which is the background, will be no sharpening. Okay. Now, zooming in on the face. Right. So you see we have all the textures of the skin. Now what we might do here is take a bit of a look. Just bring down the vibrance. Just a tad. Okay. Sometimes I like to go down to the blue primary, camera calibration and saturation. So here again, we're going to go to zoom in a bit. So what does it look like zoomed here? Full screen, and we'll go full screen, of course. So here, small, large. Okay, so I think we're liking that. So we're going to give that a 5-star pick. So let's get the before and after set up. So go to library. So this is the after, and I'm going to search down for the before. There's the after. So, oops. Okay. So I believe this is the before. Yeah. So here we go. So the before and the after. Full screen. So a dramatic difference, a major difference. So this is the before and then this is the after. Okay, I hope you like that. And I will probably do at least a couple of more from this photo shoot as well. And of course subscribe to my channel, okay?